From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum hunabku, eva maya e maho. Ayum hunabku, eva maya e maho. Ayum hunabku, eva maya e ma ho.
Welcome everybody to Soul Purpose Healing. We are beginning the 10th day actually of November in a few hours. So we're really swirling around in some powerful numbers. But thank you for joining me. That prayer ends with all hail the harmony of mind and nature. And why do we need to hear that prayer? Because the powers that be and the matrix is full of energy and teachings on division, confusion, chaos. And here at Soul Purpose Healing and the Tiny House Village, we're promoting harmony with mind and nature and the body. So, welcome everybody to the village. Come on in. I am so excited to talk about this topic tonight, the American dream, because it came up this week in a conversation, and I am surprised how many people don't even know what that phrase means. It doesn't mean a thing to them, but yet I think that's what people are pursuing a lot when they want to monetize everything. So I put together a few videos. I sent someone a link to the show and they didn't get it. So let me just send them a link real quick because this is confusing. All right. I put together a few videos to really bring clarity to the energy of the American dream. I don't think it's dead. It's just not easily achievable. And I want to show you my American dream that I lived for 26 years. So it was just my American dream, maybe not anybody else's. But I'll show you that after. I want to play, first of all, ask the question, is the American dream even real? How about that? And so as we go through the evening, the next hour, I'm asking you to think about whether you're subconsciously pursuing an American dream or are you pursuing peace and paradise here first. And that's what we want to promote, that no matter if you're in a van, sleeping in your car, which is a reality today, do you have the peace and the paradise within your soul? Because after saying goodbye to my spiritual partner of 5 years, he didn't have the peace in his soul until the day of his departure. I saw peace. And do you want to wait until it's your time to leave your body to have peace and paradise? Or can you have it now? I say you can have it now before your soul leaves your body. Because if you're evolving, that's the key. If you're evolving, you can have peace and paradise because you leave behind all the matrix expectations. So let's look at, first of all, some thoughts about what is this American? Is it even real? And we're gonna look at why some people actually quit the American dream. They woke up. How some people actually woke up. So here's one idea about, is this really real?
Is the American dream even real anymore? So first, let's talk about the American dream. What exactly is it? According to Wikipedia, the American dream is the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society where upward mobility is possible for everyone. The American dream is achieved through sacrifice, risk-taking, hard work, rather than by chance. Is that really so? Well, I Googled upward mobility rankings by country, and this is what I found. As it turns out, America ranks number 27. If you were just starting out and you wanted to grow in terms of your career, you're probably better off statistically in Singapore, or Japan, or Iceland, or Estonia, or Sweden, or Denmark, or Finland. But we don't really talk about the Singaporean dream, do we? Or the Japanese dream, or the Estonian dream, or the Icelandic dream. We talk about the American dream. Why is this so? I was thinking about this, and here's my theory. See, I moved to America at the age of 19. I grew up in Malaysia, and growing up, my dream was to move to America. The vision of the American dream pulled me, and I did move to America. I lived in the United States for almost 10 years. Mindvalley is an American company. I pay my American taxes, and now I live between Europe and Asia. But America is still where my heart lies, and I think of myself, identity-wise, more American than any other nationality. I completely bought into the American dream. But it's not just me. Other amazing talent from Malaysia went to America and created their amazing version of the American dream. Maybe you've heard of Michelle Yeoh, the Bond girl and the martial arts legend. She grew up in Malaysia like me. Or maybe Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians. We used to hang out in the same neighborhood, in the same bars, and we know each other from ages back. Or Ronnie Chung, who just got his own Netflix special. All of these Malaysians, including me, plunged into the American dream and saw our careers take off. But if the American dream is a myth, how is it that it's working for some people? Now, this is what Ronnie Chung said in his Netflix special. Pay close attention to his words.
Why do first generation immigrants come here? Because this is the best, right? America is the MBA. It's where you go to be the best at whatever you're doing. You come here to do it with other people for the best of what they're doing.
And this is what got me thinking. What if the American dream is partially a lie? You see that second line from Wikipedia that defines the American dream? That's bullshit. You cannot guarantee that you're going to be successful through risk-taking, hard work, and sacrifice. Not true at all. At least I don't buy that. Rather, as Ronnie Chung said, the advantage of the American dream is that so many people believe it, that they move to America, and America becomes a concentration of the world's best. And so, when you're in that concentration, if you build the right network, the right links, the right connections, that's when the American dream takes off for you. I became a best-selling author in America because I got the right connections. I was at a meditation retreat with a lady by the name of JJ Virgin, who was a phenomenal American author. JJ put me on her stage. I gave a talk on JJ's stage. There was an editor from a company called Rodale in the audience, and I got offered a massive check to write my first book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. But none of this would have happened if I didn't connect with the right person at the right time. So my theory is this. Firstly, data-wise, the American dream is not a big thing. It doesn't exist. But the mythology of the American dream attracts so many people to America. And if you can figure out how to connect with the right people at the right time, you're gonna increase your odds of success. This is why connection is so important in my life right now. I make great effort to bring together networks. I create connections between other people. When I travel to America, I have dinners and lunches back to back with the most interesting people. I toss big parties and gatherings to bring people together because I don't just want to connect with them. I want to be a facilitator of all human connection. Now, I learned these ideas from Keith Ferrazzi. He wrote a remarkable book called Never Eat Alone. And Keith Ferrazzi is the master of authentic human connection. About a year ago, I put Keith on stage at a Mindvalley event called A-Fest, and I was blown away by how he got everyone in that room to connect so deeply with each other that I asked him to come on Mindvalley and create a masterclass with me on the power of human connection. Because I believe it's not about hard work. It's not about sacrifice. Rather, If I can be really real with you, even though some of you may not like to hear this, it's about who you know and how deep your connections are. That to me is the number one way to accelerate your success. Now, I know we're facing a massive quarantine, but here's the interesting thing. According to Keith, and I was talking to him a couple of days ago, connection now is actually more important than ever because people are so isolated. So you can use tools like Zoom, like Skype, like Google Meet, and you can create unique models of connection. And when you learn this art, what happens is that you accelerate your odds of getting from where you are to your dreams and taking other people with you. Join us in this masterclass.
So as you can see there, connection, connection, connection. Social capital is really the key to getting your American dream. I lived in a 2,600 square foot house for 26 years. And I want to just show you what I thought was the American dream. And this became so obvious to me after a while that I was not living the American dream because when you've been married for as long as I was married, that wasn't keeping me happy. I had everything most people would consider to be the American dream. Now, this was the house. I was surprised it was even still online. But as you can see, this house is now worth $757,000. When we sold this house, it was $355,000, I believe. And at 2,600 square feet, that was 10 years ago, 2015. In 10 years, this house doubled. So the value of that house, amazingly, I was shocked to see that. But let me just show you my American dream. This is the front, and there's some, I'll bring up some of the photos. This is the front. This was the living room. Beautiful. I love these windows. They were stained glass windows. Big living room, dining room, swimming pool. Yes, I had the swimming pool. All of it, the American dream here. This is what probably my generation was seeking to have as the American dream. Okay. I look back on this and it's hard to believe that I actually lived in this place, but I did. I had 2 sons. And part of the reason that I was able to acquire that American dream was I connected with a man who worked for major airlines. He made good money. And so when we moved from California to Florida, we doubled the size of our house. The value of our house was, as you saw, that house was twice as big as the house we had in California. But as the Mind Valley creator said, it's not about seeking after money, 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 and stressing yourself out to get the big house that's going to cost you a fortune to make. That house right there, by the way, almost broke us with all the maintenance. That's one of the reasons I was glad we sold it. And we sold it because my husband and I decided we no longer wanted to live together. And so we parted ways. And that's when I went into my tiny house living, which I'm so grateful for. But that house was huge maintenance. But I want to just emphasize the connection that brought me that house, the connection of me flying to Atlanta, Georgia, and meeting my husband, who was in a workshop at Delta a major airline. I won't say Delta Airline. And then he flew back, and he sent me a ticket to come back to Chicago. And later we married, and the rest is history. We almost 40 years of a relationship connection. And I flew all over the world, from Israel to Australia. I flew to just about every major, China. And so, but it was, I think back on the connection I made in Atlanta, Georgia, with one person that created for what I thought was the American dream. And that dream got really old after a while, all the money that had to go into that house. So that's what many of us are seeking, or many have been seeking, that material, beautiful house, the pool. But If you don't have the maintenance money, it will turn into a nightmare. So here's one person who woke up, and why I want to just show to you how she came to realize that no, that material dream was not what she wanted at all. It was something that she woke up to the reality. She quit the American dream is the name of this video.
I remember I was working at a public school in New York City, and I had to do my taxes, and I had to become an adult. I had to figure out, how am I going to live when I turn 65 years old? I remember putting together all the numbers and crunching the numbers and realizing that, oh my God, I'm going to have to work for the rest of my life until I can be free. This is the American dream, right? But of course, it's not said to you in this way. It's portrayed as something else. If you work hard enough, then you will have the white picket fence. If you work hard enough, then you will have the husband or the wife. If you work hard enough, you will have the degrees. If you work hard enough, you will finally be good enough. But unfortunately, this ideal of the American dream is a moving target. So every time you accomplish something, you never feel like you've arrived. There's always the next thing and the next thing. And I gave up on the American dream because I just felt exhausted. I felt exhausted. I felt depressed. I felt anxious in my heart. And I felt like I was chasing something that I didn't even want, right? And so a lot of times we have these concepts in our heads of what success is, but actually it's not even your idea. I realized that I was chasing more money, right? I wanted to get a promotion. I wanted to have another master's degree. I had done a bachelor's. I did a master's by the time I was like 20, 21. And then I wanted more. I thought about going to get a PhD, but then I had to pause and ask myself, who implanted this idea of success in my head? Is this even my truth? Is this even my reality? And I realized that it wasn't. And unless you take a step back to really reflect and to really see yourself and to really hear the whispers of your own heart, you're going to continue running on this treadmill like a rat, stuck in the rat race, unable to get out. And by the time you do, you're 65. The average lifespan is about 75 years old. So that means that you would have wasted most of your life chasing something that wasn't even yours, and that most likely you didn't even accomplish. Because guess what? This ideal of the American dream is literally created and designed so that you never really arrive. The more money, the more problems. The more things, the more problems. And you start neglecting people and chasing more things when actually life is about people. And so I gave up on the American dream because I never felt like I was good enough for America. I'm actually from Haiti. I'm a Caribbean girl. I hated waking up in the cold. I hated waking up and feeling like I had to listen to somebody for the rest of my life. And so I packed my bags and I left America. And I have to tell you, that was like the best decision that I've ever made. For the first time in my life, I feel like I can breathe, that I can pause, that I can reflect. It doesn't mean all your problems disappear. Naturally, as human beings, we're going to create our own problems because that's just the way the mind works. But at least they're yours. You know, I finally feel like I'm on the path to creating things that matter to me, to learning things that matter to me, to accomplish things that actually contribute to the world, to being more of a person who cares about other people rather than climbing on the backs of others in order to make myself and my family successful. I have more of a cosmic, universal perspective of life. Other people actually matter to me more than my success in obtaining things matter to me. So I gave up on the American dream because I actually wanted to be happy. And maybe you are different. And maybe you feel like with chasing the money and with chasing the things and with chasing the degrees that does bring you a sense of peace. And if so, keep going. But if not, just know that at any given moment, another path is available to you. You can do whatever you want. The world is your playground. And often, when we are chasing the American dream, when I was chasing the American dream, I actually didn't feel like I even had a choice to choose another path.
That is one smart young lady. And I just loved her testimony. And the interesting thing is, the American dream for many is to leave America. That's the dream. Can I get out of this place? Oh, I wish I could leave this place. And she and many others are doing that. They call them expatriates. There are people who are going to Panama, Costa Rica, and for her leaving, going back to Haiti, wherever, not Haiti, but this is the choices we have to find peace. And that's what this show is tonight about, promoting peace and a mental state where you're not chasing after something, as she said, that's not even yours. So many people are chasing after money. I got to make money. Beyonce comes on and she's got this all this beauty and sensuality, and people chase after that. They go get the blonde wig and they think that's going to make them happy. We realize when we get to be my age that nope, chasing all those things is not what you need or want to do if you want to have peace and a paradise in your life. You can have a paradise in your life. Now, I'm always promoting land purchase, especially for what this country is going through now. People are losing they're being evicted, losing their Section 8, losing their food stamps. All these things are happening. So what are the choices? I found a video that was so informative about how you can buy land for $1,000. This is just one of many, many options. And I still promote buying land. There's some real challenges to buying land in, say, Tennessee, where some of the land is on a slope and you have a lot of limestone you have to deal with. And I know my friend LA has bought land in Texas and Florida, and he hasn't had many problems with that. But depending on where you are, you have to do your homework. But this video gives you, I hope, some inspiration to look into this type of land purchase where the government will actually help you buy the land. So pay attention, maybe take some notes if you're ready. If you're ready to consider buying land collectively, that's, to me, the best way to do it would be to find like-minded people who, if you don't have enough money, then find like-minded people, put your money together, buy the land. And then, as he explains in this video, you can get some assistance from the government and to build this land, to build your house on this land. So take a listen and take notes as another option for you to find peace out of the rat race and the false American dream.
What I'm about to share with you is going to benefit you greatly. It's going to save you a whole lot of money, and most importantly, it's going to prevent a whole lot of stress. So grab a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to want to take notes. So if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. My name is Wayne Turner. For nearly 30
And this video, by the way, is only 11 months old. Some of the videos I watch are like 8 years old, but this one is fairly recent.
30 years, I've bought, flipped, built, done just about everything in real estate. I share that with you over at the channel, WayneTurnerTV.com, so you can have the confidence knowing that what you learn from me is from actual experience. Now, what I want to share with you is how you can purchase a house and land in the country for just $1,000. I'm going to walk you through the steps to find it, what not to do, most importantly, what to do, how to get your money right, how to get the best deal on any piece of land out in the country. Now, if you haven't noticed, it's pretty quiet out here. You don't hear anything but maybe a horse or pig or a chicken or whatever it may be. And that's just peaceful. That's what a lot of people want. A lot of people, when they're buying their first house, they want a little place out in the rural area. And there's loan programs that are available through the United States Department of Agriculture. And those loans only require $1,000 down. Now, you have to qualify for the loan. You have to have a 620 or higher credit score. You have to have proof of income. If you have Social Security, if you have inheritance, if you have money that's consistently coming in, that can be used as your income to show proof that you can in fact afford a piece of property just like this one. Now, it's also important to know that you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You can actually purchase a piece of property. Perhaps you've owned a home before. What you can't own is a house or any type of home and get a USDA loan. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer. You could have owned a home, you could have sold a home, and they're not really concerned about how much money you have in the bank. But this is a way in which you can start to purchase a piece of property if you don't have a whole lot of cash. We have agents all around the country. They help people with closing costs. They ask the seller to pay the closing costs. 90% of the time that gets paid. So bottom line is you purchase a piece of property, barns, rules, trees, fences that's already established, and you only need $1,000 out of pocket. Now, something else that's important to know is these homes aren't always out into the country. They're in rural areas, suburban areas. So even if you don't want to live way out in the country, you don't have to. Some people just want to live on the outskirts. They just want peace and quiet. But typically these USDA loans, you don't have to live very far. 25 to 30 miles outside of town puts you in those areas. You can go to USDA.gov and you can actually click and look on a map, and it will show you based on your city, your county, your state, whether or not you qualify based on your area for these types of USDA loans. Now, it is important to know that not all banks offer these types of loans, but many of them do, and many credit unions offer these types of loans, because you have to understand these loans are basically insured by the federal government, the United States government, United States Department of Agriculture. So they follow under the same guidelines as FHA, the Federal Housing Administration. And by doing that, that allows you to purchase a house and land. And what's really cool is it doesn't have to be a stick-built home. It can be a double-wide mobile home on any piece of property. Now, there are some restrictions to a double wide. You can't just have any double wide. It's got to be a modular home, mobile home that's on a permanent foundation, because USDA follows under the same guidelines as FHA. And that means that the home has to be on a permanent foundation. And they do that by basically digging concrete footings and anchoring the home to the ground and then putting underpinning under it. Once they do that, you can purchase a home for $1,000 out of pocket, whether it's a stick-built home or home built in a factory. Now, regardless of the construction of the home, you still have to understand that you can still have the home inspected, and you'll want to have it inspected. Not just inspected, but it's okay to do a mold inspection, an HVAC inspection, a plumbing inspection. You can do all that, but at the very minimum, you want to do a general home inspection. Now, once you inspect the property, at that point, your real estate agent will sit down with you and go, okay, what are the items that are not working to their intended function? The home inspection is going to give you a huge list. And at that point, you take that list and you circle and check the things that are most prevalent, that are most important to you, that you want the seller to fix on the property, whether it be a broken window, a leaky faucet, some rotted wood around a door jamb. You can ask them to do that. 99% of the time, they will do that for you gladly, because they want to sell you the property. And they'll fix those things typically 4 to 5 days before closing. You'll do a walkthrough before the closing to ensure that all those items are fixed. But that's basically how it works when it comes to any sort of inspection. You simply ask the seller, they'll tell you yes or no, and it kind of goes back to negotiations. You can ask for everything on the list. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to fix it. That doesn't mean they have to fix anything, but oftentimes homeowners will gladly fix anything that you request, because keep in mind, their home is for sale and they want you to purchase their home. Now, something else I always tell people to do is you want to walk the property. You want to walk the property when it's raining, when it's sunny outside. You want to look for any kind of settlement of water. You also want to know that you can have the property inspected for the septic system. If there's a septic system on a property, you want to make sure everything is working to its intended function, as well as a well. So if you got a well on a property and a septic system on a property, just don't take it for granted that that system is actually working. You want to make sure that you have it inspected. You want to make sure that the pump's working on the actual well, that the holding tank's not leaking. You want to make sure the septic system is working properly. It's up to code. And oftentimes electric meters, you want to make sure where's the electricity, how far is it, all of that stuff goes into play. And you have to know that you reserve the right to do a home inspection on any property. Once you do the inspection, once again, you can ask the seller to pay for those items for you. If they choose not to fix it, you simply don't have to purchase the property and you get your deposit back. But look, you have to know this, and I'm not trying to frighten or scare anybody, but you have to know that if you do everything, your due diligence during that time frame, you have it inspected, you have the HVAC, you have absolutely everything looked at. Once everything's looked at on the property and you're happy and fine with it, and you put that in writing, if you decide you don't want to purchase the property, you can do that. But you have to know that if you don't purchase that property, you can lose your deposit. Not only can you lose your deposit, but you can be sued for specific performance to the contract. That's something you never want to deal with. If you get sued, it could cost you 10% of the amount of the property and damages. And yes, it has happened. Now, people oftentimes ask me about appraisals. What about the appraisal on the property? The bank's going to send out an appraiser to appraise the property to make sure they're not overspending, they're not overlending, you're not overspending, if you will. That runs around $400, and that's the cost, if you will, part of the $1,000. You pay for the $400 to have it appraised. You also want to pay for it to be inspected. Now, a lot of people say, Wayne, what if it doesn't appraise? What if I purchase this home and I agree to purchase it for $200,000? It only appraises for $190,000. At that point, you can certainly split the difference with the seller. We see that oftentimes, but sometimes there's buyers are like, I'm not paying more than what the appraiser says the property's valued at. And if that's the case, you just have to explain that to the seller, show them a copy of the appraiser, and basically just say, we don't want to purchase the property. We're not going to purchase the property. And many times they agree and understand that it's only worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it. It's also worth what a seller's willing to sell it for. Once that's agreed upon, you sign it and you get the property. But I can tell you, it doesn't happen too often because most good real estate agents have done their homework, they've done their due diligence, and just like real estate appraisers, they have access to the same exact database. So they're looking at comparable properties that have closed in the last 6 months within a 3-mile radius of the subject property that you're purchasing. Now, a huge financial benefit to buying homes that are already established on a piece of property is oftentimes they have barns like the one I'm standing in now. So if you want any kind of horses, farm animals, chickens, pigs, whatever it may be, it's already established. This is a 6-stall horse barn that I'm standing in. It's got room for chicken coops, pigs right outside, anything that you want. But you not only want to look at the structure of the property, you want to make sure that you're walking the boundaries of the property. Never buy a property without seeing a survey, walking the property, knowing exactly what you're about to purchase, knowing that when you buy it, it's yours and no one's encroaching upon your land.
Now, as you can see in that video, that's a lot of land. And I lived when I left my American dream home and stayed in a condo for a year, and then I went out in the country to my tiny house on wheels for 5 years. I was on 11 acres of land with RVs and mobile homes and all kinds of setups because it was tiny house on wheels land. There was so much work that had to be done on that land, and this was only 11 acres of land. So if you're thinking about, oh, I want to buy a lot of land and it's going to be great, think again. You want to start with a small amount of land, maybe even a 1/4 acre, 1 or 2 acres at the most, if you're not going to have a lot of help to manage that land. The land where I was parked on my tiny house, this guy had a lot of help occasionally, and then most of the time he was doing the work himself, riding a tractor trailer around, trimming trees, doing all kinds of work. There was always something to do. So if you're ready to find peace and paradise and leave behind the whole energy or idea of an American dream, this is a very valuable piece of information. And that video is, the name of that video is how to buy land and a home with $1,000. There are so many videos on YouTube that can help you get started with your exit from the American dream mentality, because it's really about, to find your peace and paradise is really up here. And it, a lot of it, as we saw earlier, is about connection. You need to get out and around and meet people and be friendly and talk to people. And you never know who is going to be the catalyst to help you get that house or that land to bring you more peace. Because the way things are going right now, even with him talking about you can get an FDA, USDA loan. USDA.gov is the website. USDA.gov. Go. I'm going to put that here in the chat. If you can go to USDA.gov and find out more information about buying that land for $1,000. Because at the rate we're going right now, we don't know if we're going to have a government, but you might as well try it while you can, because this is the area where usually the government is pretty good at helping individuals find their peace. You know, if you have an idea or a plan with, especially with other people, now is the time. Now is the time to venture out and explore and see what's available. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is the time to look at other options. And your peace and paradise starts within. And so I want to do a little meditation to help us go within, because the solution is always within. You know, in the healthcare system, they say, "Oh, there's no cure. There's no cure for your disease," and so people become discouraged and depressed. And that's not true at all, because the cure is within. I'm going to be starting a newsletter soon about German New Medicine. This chart back here is what I have studied for probably over 25 years now. And the reality, the knowledge you gain from German New Medicine is so powerful to help you overcome any physical problem. Because what German New Medicine does, it helps you connect the emotions, the brain, and the body, the organ, to your situation, your disease, or your symptoms in your body. It helps you connect the root cause. So I'm going to be starting a newsletter and sending it out to my email contacts. And after this weekend, where I had 3 days of AI bombardment, and I've got to get courage and start using it, because it's a time-saving tool. That's what it is. So let us take a few minutes with the Kaya meditation and close our eyes. And if you are in a situation right now that's causing you stress, and you're not sure about what to do, especially when it comes to housing, take this time to ask the universe for solutions. Then you can go off and ask AI, because AI probably has a solution. I've been testing my WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a meta AI system that's giving me the answers I need, and I hadn't been using it. But for now, go within and tap into the divine computer, the biological computer that has all the answers. It's just that we rarely are still enough to get the answer. We have all these distractions, we have all this noise coming at us, and we have people coming at us, and we don't hear the answer because we don't take time to ask. Prayer is actually the communication that you speak or think to the Creator. And then in meditation like this one, it's about listening and letting the solution or the answer come to you. So let's just take a minute to close our eyes Kaya, beautiful, deep African meditation. And just relax, take a deep breath. Ooh, that feels good. I've been going all day and I haven't really been breathing deeply. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And think about, what do you need to have peace and paradise in your life? What are your needs and what are your wants? Just think about, do you have everything you need? Then just be grateful. And ask the Creator, ask the universe to help you see the solution to any problems that are coming up. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out to get the answers, to find your peace, to find your paradise. Asking your ancestors to help you. Whatever problem you have right now, the answer is already there. If you have a question or problem, there's already an answer, but you have to listen for it. You have to wait for it. So we give thanks for this beautiful time of the year where leaves are turning orange and green. Orange is becoming one of my favorite colors because I'm just harmonizing with nature, harmonizing my mind with nature, and then just feeling the peace, feeling the shalom. When you take the time to be quiet, to be still, and to seek the answers, especially on YouTube. YouTube has so many videos these days of professionals. It's not just people willy-nilly coming on, but you've got a lot of people with experience on YouTube sharing their experience and their knowledge. So go there, whatever problems you may have, and then by all means use AI, Chat GPT, WhatsApp. The answers are there, the solutions are there. No need to get frustrated and stay depressed and confused these days. AI is all about capturing time, getting your time back. You don't have to spend as much time finding a solution when you just plug it into your AI app that you're using. So it's just amazing what I learned even this weekend. So I want to just say a prayer out to my son, and his girlfriend went to Houston, Texas on Friday or Thursday, and now they're at the airport, or actually they were on the plane trying to get out of there because Houston has been just chaos. So I'm sending lots of love and peace to my son in Houston and that airplane, that pilot will be able to get that plane off the ground and bring them home safely. And for all of you out there who are stressed or depressed, sending you love and peace, and sending you the message from the universe of love, the universe of solutions, that it's all okay. Just take the time to be still and spend more time in nature. That prayer of the 7 galactic directions is all about bringing in, harnessing in a more peaceful world, and harnessing in harmony with mind and nature. And part of the solution to the American dream falsity or lies is being more global in your perspective. As the video said earlier, many people came here from other countries to find the American dream, but they don't stay here. They're traveling all to other countries. So whenever you have the opportunity, please, please, please find a way to travel even if it's just throughout the United States. There are lots of places in the United States that almost seem like a foreign country. They're so beautiful and they're so different from where you might have grown up. So please take the time and think about how much traveling you can do. And part of finding your peace in paradise might be leaving the city. I know all my friends and relatives who are stuck in the urban area, the concrete reservations and all that, they have a hard time believing they can leave, or they don't want to leave the city. But if you're in chaos and confusion and depression, time to move, travel, and make connections. Even when you decide to go on a vacation or just travel outside your city that you grew up in, you're going to make connections. That's how the universe works. That is what happened with this book that I wrote. Let me bring that up. This book that I wrote, I had so many connections in my 20-year journey. And this book was created from the connections I made with people who were sick or who had been diagnosed with disease. And out of those connections, I listened to their stories. And my German New Medicine teaching came alive with these people's stories. So that's why this book is so important to share and to promote, because it was a journey for several years about connecting to people and listening to their stories. So if you're interested in reading the German New Medicine connection and how it came about, that this book actually was a confirmation of German New Medicine, then you can get that by sending me a Cash App, and I'll send you the book in a PDF form right away. And that's my Cash App. And just send me your email, and I'll send you the book out. So I hope this has been helpful. Let's see, I don't see any comments tonight, so that's okay. We're all collectively, I feel the energy of my friends, family, and everyone is just moving forward. We are really evolving in my communities, and so grateful to have the tribe. I'm reading a book called Tribe, by the way. It's amazing about the Vietnam veterans and people, the Native Americans, how tribal connections. Thank you. The connection energy is so important in our history, and even to solve problems with our veterans. This week, I believe, is Veterans Day. So please make it part of your plan, part of your business to honor your veteran connections. Send them a love note, give them a hug, and realize even those connections you make today with veterans, it's going to bliss. I got to get out of that word bliss your life. You're going to be blissed. So take time this week to honor the veterans and help them develop their new tribe. The tribe of veterans was in their combat. That was their tribe. And many of them survived because they had such a great tribal force of military men with them. But when they come home and they lose that tribal connection, that's when the PTSD develops somewhat, because the tribal connection is lost. So let us think this week about connecting with military men and women, blessing them out. Just bliss them out this week, all week. Just take the whole week to bliss out our veterans, and then connect with your neighbors who are maybe struggling. There's this comedian who has dreadlocks on top of his head. I can't remember his name right now. He goes into dollar stores with a wad full of money, blessing people with money. He goes in and asks them if he can buy their groceries, and and he's just amazing person.
MoMA Z or MoMA Z.
So this is one of the things, if you are blessed with funds and ability to share your blessings, go out and during the day with what's going on with people losing EBT, or even if they don't have EBT losses, just go out during the day and see and put your antennas on to see who might need your connection to bless them and honor them as a human being. So Mama AZ, your mic is open. Welcome. How are you this evening?
Thank you for asking, Dr. V. Very grateful to be sitting here at my tree for now. I'm at Haven Health, which is like a nursing home. I'm here for respite care. And I'm sitting right here at my tree, and the tree is amazing, and it's talking to me, and that the tree has shared is that I'm on a journey of learning and creating so that I can overcome whatever I have created to inspire others. This tree just told me that as I was listening to your meditation, I had to get out of my room because my roommate was screaming at me. We have some people that are in need of our help spiritually, mentally, and otherwise in a good way. Medicine. Oh, Dr. V, I'm so grateful that you, Brother Kwame, and ones on your level are in my life, and this big old tree that I'm sitting in front of. So thank us. That's really all I had to say for right now. I'm getting messages. Sometimes we create certain scenarios to see what we are made of, to see how we can overcome. We test our being. We test our strength by setting certain scenarios up to see how we can overcome and rise to the occasion. And that's my word.
I love it. I love that. Thank us. And when I go now, when I walk, I stop at the tree. I put my hands on the tree and I look up at all these leaves and branches. And I just get this amazing feeling of peace and love for this tree. So and thank you, Mom AZ, for sharing that, because these trees are not just decorations. It's like all our lives, we look at them like they're part of the landscape, decorate a nice tree, but they are so much more. I can't emphasize that enough. There's so much more.
I'd like to say one other thing quickly. My reason for, the reasons for my eviction is so divine, because I found out how powerful pine needles are. Emily, I got evicted out of my apartment because I chose to go and get pine needles and put them down on the ground and walk on them. And so I got evicted, and the judge went with the people. But the reason that I'm sharing this is not because I'm upset about it. It's a wake-up call that we forget what we have within. And the ancestors and the higher beings said, get the pine needles and walk on them because they can help with your pain. Pine needles, family, are so powerful metaphysically. And I didn't realize this until a little sister from Greensboro, Miss Jennifer Moore, brought this to this elder's attention. She said, Miss AC, you really have knowledges that you don't even know that you have. And they're teaching you. So look up the meaning of pine, what it represents. Dr. V, I'm so grateful to be out of the dungeon. And we'll have to do a show about that another time.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So thank us. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
and
this
I hope that, you know, at some point you were resisting leaving that place for good reason, but I hope that now that you're no longer resisting, that indeed the inflammation in your body goes down, because your body is feeling it more peace and more purpose than you had before. So it's all good. You're so right about it being in divine order. And you know, they were during COVID, that was the big alternative suggestion or option was pine needle tea. They were promoting pine needle tea. Everybody, where do you get it? How do you get it? How do you make it? There were people online telling people how to make it. That was the solution, part of the solution for overcoming the COVID. So yeah, we have to do another show at another time to explore all these wonderful natural, they're not alternative, they're natural options to find peace and healing in our bodies, in our minds, and our souls. So thank you. Thank us, Mama AZ. And we bliss, blessings to all of you. And namaste to all my yogi friends. Satnam, Ashe, Ashe, O, to all my brothers and sisters. And Aho to all those natives on the land. Love you. Have a great week.